Hey friends, this is Dolany TV. Glad to have you aboard this morning as we get set up to cover tonight's, this morning's, whatever you want to say, hockey game for, of course, Canada versus the USA. As we are going to see what ends up happening here for Canada, as I believe they are shorthanded Macklin Celebrini. I'm not sure, haven't seen the full coverage as of yet, friends, but of course this morning starting the World Juniors coverage. So that's going to be an exciting start to things for sure. And now, you know what? Canada versus USA is always a good time as well. So we'll see what ends up happening here this morning. I think I've only got time to go through the first period of play, unfortunately. But again, we'll make the best of it and have a little bit of fun here. As Owen, good morning to you, friends. Good morning to all of you as we get set up to start this one over on TSN. So yeah, no, it's going to be a fun evening. Of course, you can find this one on TSN and TSN 1 and 4. So that's if you're in Canada and you have your television login credentials, say you have cable or anything, you can basically go out there and log into the TSN website with those credentials, and it'll give you access to watch tonight's hockey game live. So it's a little fun. I say tonight because over in Sweden it is tonight, whereas this morning in Canada at about 10 a.m. we are going to get this puck dropped. As Craig, good morning to you. It starts at 10 a.m. so that's why the live stream is just hit live right now. Last minute scramble to get it going. I didn't realize the game was at 10 this morning, so that's a good kind of situation for us. We'll take that. And then Curtis, good morning to you as well, as we obviously get things set up for what will be a fun, interesting morning of hockey. Wish I had a little bit more time to watch this one tonight, but for Team Canada and Team USA, they're kind of cutting into those Christmas plans, right? I got a couple of things I got to take care of pre-Christmas. All the Christmas shopping, I can report to you, is officially done, unless I find a little something to spend somewhere else. But no, as of right now, we are good to go. Obviously, just have to get a couple of bottles for some friends and stuff, and we'll be good to go. But yeah, friends, we are booting up for tonight's hockey game, or this morning's hockey game, however you want to view it. It's going to be a good little game, I'm sure, because obviously Team Canada would love to come out with a good little result here against Team USA. Always a good time when you beat Team USA, just because, hey, we're Canadian, and at the end of the day, if you're beating the States in hockey, you're having a pretty good day. So that's where we're at, friends. I don't think there's much more to report as of yet. Connor Geeky's pregame routine is being spotlighted by Mark Masters right now. Again, if you don't follow Mark Masters on any social media yet, I would highly recommend doing it if you're looking for some key information about the World Juniors. He is the source for World Juniors. And that said, we're talking about Macklin Celebrini a second ago. Macklin Celebrini will not be suspended for that boarding major on Friday. So there will be no supplemental discipline to Macklin Celebrini, the consensus right now #1 pick in the 2024 draft. So change in plan for Canada as Mathis Rousseau gets the start again. He has started all 3 pre-tournament games for Canada, and Team USA is going with Canadians prospect Jacob Fowler in net. So stay tuned. This one could get interesting. Bodie's cheering for the USA, so this could get interesting as well if we have a couple of USA fans in here. I assume, though, big thing is across Oilers fandom, there are quite a few of you that tune in from the US to the regular live stream, so I assume we're going to have a little bit of heated rivalry at times in good spirit. That's the nice part about the World Juniors, is it's not necessarily life or death for most of us, especially that we've kind of focused on the Oilers here so heavily over the past several years. I think it's more or less just a kind of breathing moment in the NHL season where we can all sit back and enjoy the fact that the Oilers are taking a break right now, and we can sit back and watch some good hockey nonetheless. So Team USA versus, of course, Team Canada this morning in World Juniors action. Friends, welcome aboard to Dolany TV. Glad to have you aboard as Team Canada has hit the ice to get things going for this morning's game. It's James Duthie in the studio right now, so again, we'll see what happens. Bob McKenzie on the desk, and Bob looking good as ever. My goodness, that man, ever since he aged, has never aged another day after that. So good to see right there as we will get in through the pregame portion of tonight's broadcast, and then we'll get into it, that's for sure. So, and Rokel, you're right, from the UK, that's the big thing. A lot of people tuning in from around the world here on Dolany TV as well. Bodie, am I showing the game? Unfortunately, I can't show the game. It is copyright material, and if I get struck with the copyright, I lose all access to live streaming. And as I was just speaking, that's a very important aspect of Dolany TV, I can tell you that much. But we're going to talk, obviously, number one, about Macklin Celebrini, who did not receive the suspension for boarding the Swiss player yesterday. So that is a huge, huge get for Team Canada, who needs a guy like Celebrini to be an important part of this team. Minton, Geeky, and Dume on the top line. Cowan, Patros, and Savoy. Second line, Allard, Beck, Danielson. Third line, Wood, Celebrini, Jaeger on the fourth line. Rakoff is the 13th forward. Of course, I missed all the defense and all that. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But Jorian Donovan, I believe he just joined the team here. He's drafted 136th overall by Ottawa in 2022. He's been having one heck of a year in junior from everything I can remember seeing on Twitter over the past few days. We'll see if he brings a little much needed spark to this hockey game here. So, friends, as we get set up for this one, welcome aboard again. I'm seeing a bunch of people tuning in, and there's Simone Edvinson coming up from the AHL Grand Rapids. So there you go. I finally could have added him to the roster, but he'll come up from Grand Rapids to the Detroit Red Wings. A solid little pick for them, as we're going to have the national anthems at the rink in Sweden. And see, this is the thing. That's a small, tiny rink by all standards, realistically speaking. Low roof, everything. But that's some big stands there. So kind of weird how that one plays out. But interesting to see here as they have young lady singing the national anthems for both teams this morning, friends, and we are just about ready to get this one started up for Team Canada and Team USA. Like I said, the intention is to do the first period this morning, just simply because that's about all I'll have time for on a day prior to Christmas. After that, it's all bonus money, right? Boxing Day, 27th, yeah, we got all the time in the world, but as it currently sits right now, we kind of got some scheduled stuff to get through, and we are just going through with Team Canada, all the fans in the stands right now, getting set to watch the team hopefully go out there and perform a good game this afternoon in this pre-tournament action. And that's the weird part too, I guess I should say this afternoon, because for those of you out east of Manitoba, it is afternoon right now, and those of you on the East Coast in the United States, I guess same thing. So see what we've got here for this hockey game this morning. But friends, it's going to be a good one, I think, all told, because anytime Canada and USA form a game in the World Juniors, it's always turning into a good little matchup. So if you can tell, I'm tired. I'm stumbling over my words. It is what it is. But we'll see what happens here. As Team Canada just one anthem away from puck drop in this World Juniors matchup, and excited to get this started for another year. This is year number, I believe, 3 of 4, I think 4 now, of doing the World Juniors here on Dolany TV. So very excited to see what this brings for us this year, this go around. So of course, the big goal is, friends, if you are new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with the World Juniors and potentially following that, the Edmonton Oilers, I would love to have you aboard. Prior to this puck drop, I am going to just throw an ad for myself. If you are new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. About 42 subscribers away from 14,000. However, the bigger number is that's 1,042 away from 15,000. You're going to hear me talk a lot about that during this World Juniors, because we are going to hit that before the end of this year. I'm hoping big time for this one. So Peter, any Oilers prospects in the game? I believe, as far as we know, there are no Oilers prospects at the World Juniors this year, as far as I understand. So that's kind of the tough part about it for the Edmonton Oilers and us fans this year. We don't really have any of our kids to be watching this year, so be interesting to see, I guess, how much the overall attention is on the streams this year based on not having any Oilers players in the situation here. So 2024 World Junior Championship, of course, it's in Gothenburg, Sweden this year. You got to remember that that's going to mean some weird start times. Boxing Day morning, we're starting at 6 a.m. Friends, get up, get going, let's go. We're going to see if I can end up doing that. But Banana, I don't know which team you're asking about, so I can't really answer that. I know he's not on Team Canada, so if you're asking on Team USA, possibly, but I do not know anything about Team USA here going into this one. Fowler in net, Gordon Miller, Mike Johnson on the call here for this morning's pre-tournament action as Team Canada, Team USA ready to fire up and get going for this World Juniors matchup here from, I don't even know where they are in Sweden this morning, but they are ready to get things going pre-Christmas here as we are going to see Team Canada leave the crease and get things going to center ice right now for this puck drop as we are just about underway here in Sweden. The linesmen are coming in from the SHL this morning. So the SHL, of course, Sweden's premier hockey league, as they will skate around and obviously talk things over with the benches as Fowler will draw into action here. I'm wondering what kind of stats we're going to get for him. Looks like we might just get a little zoom in on the goaltender there for Team USA. In net for Canada, you've got Rousseau, who has started all the pre-tournament games, so I assume he's going to get a heavy work dose here to begin this World Juniors, probably start game 1 against Finland and then kind of take the games off for the next 1 or 2 as Canada probably faces weaker competition. So the bench boss for Team Canada, Mr. Letang, will see the puck down at center ice. Canada versus USA live from Sweden getting underway here right now. And obviously if you're expecting the play-by-play, it'll be choppy at best, but we'll get through it as Team USA is going to scramble up the draw and get it back in their own zone here. 19:56 to go, and both teams are going to begin the feeling out process as Canada rims the puck in to the USA zone. USA does a good job to chip that one out back into the Canadian end, and Canada's going to load up and move ahead down the right wing, tip it in, and the goaltender Fowler for the US will come out and play that one. Canada wins a board battle along the USA zone, D to D, and the shot's going to drift in, shot off the pad, save made by the American goaltender, and this one's going to work to the far side wing, where Canada is going to see it worked out by the US back into their own end, picked up now by Team Canada. And this big thing, Minton, Geeky, and Dume is your top line tonight. Cowan, Patras, and Savoie is your second line. You've got on the third line Allard, Beck, and Danielson. Fourth line, of course, will feature Celebrini, the draft-eligible player, Wood, and Yeager with them. And then on the defense as well, you've got Rekoff, as a 13th forward before we get to the defense. And as we get to the defense, Matichuk, Lamoureux up there on the top line. Team USA gets turnover behind the net, though. Furlong, Warren, the two defensemen as well, and then Donovan and Bonk as defensemen on the third pair. The seventh defenseman, do we get that? No, we don't, so never mind. As Canada, we'll get to the attack here. More Gauthier and Snuggerud on the top line for Team USA. Howard, Nazar, and Brindley the second line as USA fired it back into the neutral zone. Perot, Smith, and Leonard your fourth line for the US squad. Finley, Nelson, and Hayes your fourth line. And then I think as well, Terrence is your 13th forward. So there you go. That's the lines up front for Team USA. On the back, Fortescue, Chesley, the top D pair for Team USA. Bium and Casey, your second pair. And then as well, you've got Hudson and Rinzel, your third pair. Shot fired by Canada. There goes wide. And to answer Hunter's question, 0-0 hockey game. Polkamp and Mintenian, the fourth pair for the U.S. squad. So again, if I'm unfamiliar with names, these are the first time legitimately I'm seeing it. We're 2:15 into this first period. We've got a scoreless hockey game so far. Again, I'd get the scoreboard up, but unfortunately in these pre-tournament games, the scoreboard doesn't work near as well as it does during the regular World Juniors games. So we'll suffer through for now, but friends, welcome aboard. If you're just tuning in, glad to have you as we are going to get right into action. Obviously, Team Canada, Team USA underway here with 2:15 gone. Face off to the left of the goaltender Fowler in the US zone as it's going to be scrambled to the boards by the Americans. They're going to turn it back around to the near side corner and fire up off the boards and out to the neutral, collected there by Donovan. He'll fire over, and Canada will get back into the US zone just briefly as this one's going to be working back around the near side face-off dot for USA as they find a breakaway pass. The shot fired, scores, and Team USA beats Russo just like that. A beautiful pass through the neutral zone, finds the man at the blue line, sends them in all alone, and Finley scores the goal for the U.S. to put them up 1-0, 2:35 into this first period of play, friends. So interesting to see here as the Canada squad just kind of fell asleep in the defensive neutral side zone there, and Lane Hudson, of course it would be Lane Hudson making the play here for Team USA. He is one heck of a prospect. He makes a perfect play, and then the shot just beats Rousseau blocker's side, and it ends up being a goal that counts to make it 1-0 here. 17:22 to go in this first period play. U.S. wins the faceoff, and they're going to wheel and deal through the neutral zone again. They've got the confidence to shoot it on Rousseau, as one of their first shots obviously goes in this hockey game, and now Team Canada chasing this game. Here's Yager with Celebrini out there as well, as they will go back into the neutral zone just briefly. USA scrambles at their own blue line back to the near side corner, D far side corner. Of course, we're on the big ice this year too, keep that in mind. 16:50 to go here in this first period of play as Quinn Finley scores the first goal of the game, 2:35 in, and the assists go to Lane Hudson, obviously, with 2:35 gone in this first period. We're now just about 3.5 minutes in here as the U.S. are just rolling around the Canada zone. The shot fired towards the net goes up over top, and it's just amazing how much that big ice really gives so much more room out there. Imagine how many more miles these guys have to skate. The puck played to the middle. That one cut off by Team Canada. The U.S. rolling around the zone trying to make a play. Can't do it. Canada cuts them off again. And this one will go back the other way as it's chopped back into the neutral zone. USA touch pass back to the Canadian blue line. They're going to fire around the middle. Canada's going to cut it off. 3-on-3 back the other way. Far side pass onside. Shot to the middle there. Doesn't go anywhere necessarily good. So it'll be fired down low again for Canada here on the turnover as they'll try and fight off a check. This one's going to work around behind Fowler again. And friends, Team Canada at least kind of trying to respond here by getting to work down low in the U.S. zone. A shot fired towards Fowler. Save made there. But again, Canada leaky down low as there's a man behind the defense. Gets to the puck. Canada was able to knock him off. And this one will work up through the neutral zone just like that. Nice touch pass to Dume, I believe it is. Drag move to the middle. Misses everybody. And we are just about 5 minutes gone here in this first period of play as the U.S. will fire up the pass to the middle. That one goes nowhere. And now this will allow Team Canada to escape the zone despite the USA having the more or less possession of the puck. And they will just clap it in off the glass, pick up possession. That one hops off a skate. And there's a couple of guys that have lost track of the puck here early on and fallen down. So I wonder if ice may be a factor as this game wears on. We're inside the first 5 minutes of the game now gone. And then, any way to watch the game, if you are in Canada, if you have login credentials for a cable service provider, that said, if your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, your mother, your father, your grandma, your grandpa, your sister, your brother have login credentials for a cable service provider, get a hold of them, say, hey, can I have your login credentials? Log into the TSN website and you can watch on TSN 1 and 4 for free thanks to their login credentials. If not, if you have those login credentials, good for you. Let's giddy up and watch some hockey. 14:18 to go here in this first period of play. The U.S. now across the blue line. They're going to get to the attack here. Shoot, fire, good save there by Russo, or else it went wide. Kind of reacted one of two ways. And we are now done 6 minutes of this hockey game as they continue along here. 1-0 Team USA so far as this one dumped in behind the Canadian net. That will indeed be an icing call, and we will have a stoppage in play here as we get this going. So, Craig, you've seen more fans in the stands during a PWA AA team. I get it's preliminary, but you can't help but notice all the empty seats. I think you're noticing all the empty seats on the other side. I'd have to look at the screen again. I'm too busy watching the action on the ice to notice the seats. But I believe the big thing is the big stands are on the camera side, so it's kind of deceptive that way. Everybody's on the camera side. Kind of tends to happen at junior B games and stuff like that with bigger seats as well. But I mean, yeah, that's the big thing. Yeah, those stands are the small side. If you come to the near side, that's where everybody is. As we got a little action taste of that during the anthems there. 13:49 to go here in the first period as Canada will roll in behind. This one's going to be clipped up to the middle of the zone. The U.S. ends up missing that puck, and Canada's going to chip to the neutral zone now as we are inside almost 7 minutes gone here in this first period as Canada will play to the middle now and get out of the zone and turn back just briefly by the U.S. and now pitch and catch all across the zone, trying to make a play here with 13:20 to go in this first period of play. 1-0 USA right now as they're going to work ahead, play up off the boards and get it down low into the Canadian zone. And now the USA, of course, with that bigger ice, they seem to be adept at using it so far, as they've kind of put it to some areas and the Canadian players have made some mistakes. Not that the US plays on bigger ice either, but just some weird plays here all told from Team Canada in the defensive zone so far, as this one comes near side, bounced in by Canada. 12:53 to go in this first period of play as the US will lead ahead. Near side pass for the US now to the blue line, back to Lane Hudson. He will roll around the top of the zone. He's going to dance around a defender up high. He's going to try and move back for the defense, back now to the defensive forward there. And oh man, USA making some great plays at the blue line, but thankfully Canada is able to cut it off and get it back into the neutral zone. We're almost inside the first 8 minutes gone here in this first period. Canada down 1-0 to the Americans here early on, a goal that was a little ugly to give up, that's for sure, as Canada will continue to see this one at the blue line. The US will fire it down in behind. Now a play to the middle, kind of that almost similar play there that the Rangers scored on the Oilers' first goal of the game last night. That could have been ugly there if Canada would have allowed that pass to the middle, but they didn't, and they've got it in behind the American net right now. As friends, we're inside 9 minutes almost gone here in this period, and that's just a good job towards the net by Team Canada, who's getting their first really good chances of this hockey game now, as there's going to be a slap shot and Fowler has to hang on for dear life to that puck to make sure it doesn't get through him, and he makes a huge save there on the slap shot from the blue line for Team Canada. And there you have it, Team Canada, we get our first time out of the game with 11:38 to go in this first period. Friends, welcome aboard to Dolany TV. If this is your first time here, friends, hope you're enjoying things. Again, it's a morning edition of Dolany TV. Again, wasn't fully expecting to do this, but what I will encourage you to do, if you want to stick around for World Juniors coverage, I don't know how much we're going to be able to really get to early on in the mornings, but if you're able to stick around and hang out with me, that'd be greatly appreciated by hitting that subscribe button. Closing in on, of course, just about what could you say, just about 15,000 subscribers here. We're about 40,000 or 440 away from, what would you say, from 14,000. Sorry, trying to do some math here, and that doesn't seem to be mathing out for me, so we'll just ignore that. But friends, as we keep going here, obviously Canada needs to find a way to score a goal. That would be paramount here if Canada could score an important goal to tie up this hockey game, and at least give me a goal to call before we finish off this broadcast this afternoon, right? That would be key, as we're going to just pretty much do this first period, and then that will be pretty much it for this game today, because of course the Christmas plans are happening and you got to make things happen. So just a little quick broadcast today, and then we'll get going. As 11:38 to go in this first period. Lane Hudson with an assist already, a perfect pass. Canada's going to scramble up the face-off, win it back to the defender on a bounce. Now they're going to play down low and try and collect this puck in the slot area, that triangle, trapezoid, whatever James Duthie is always talking about, the high danger area in the World Juniors hockey tournament historically. 11:20 to go here in this first period of play. Canada rifles a shot up the middle, and they're going to slap that one in down low, as the US are going to roll around and turn it over to Team Canada, as this one's going to be a shot at the side of the net. Good looking deceptive shot there for Canada, sealed off by Fowler. And we've now played 9 minutes of this hockey game so far to a 1-0 USA lead. This one played down low, and it will be an icing call against the Americans yet again with less than 11 minutes remaining. And that's just a tough turnover there for Team USA. That ended up being a good scoring chance for Nate Danielson and Team Canada, as he gets 2 cracks at it into the pads of Fowler, who makes 2 saves, the Montreal Canadiens prospect. So the Canadians have 2 prospects on the USA squad that are looking pretty good in this game. Hudson, and of course, yes, as well, Fowler in net for Team USA. As this one, a backhand towards the net, goes wide of Fowler. Team Canada continues to pressure here, as they have over the past 2 minutes. Shot fired down low, pass to the middle again there by Canada off the end boards. It ends up being a good shot by Patras, but he can't end up scoring the goal. So 10:41 to go, and we'll have another face-off in the American zone as Team Canada starting to roll around and get the offensive juices flowing here midway through this period, as that's just a really good looking pass by Cowan to the front of the net. And Cowan, a guy who wasn't projected to be much special in the draft, ends up going to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and now all of a sudden here at the World Juniors, as this one played to the middle, backhand opportunity, and Canada gets another quick couple of passes through, and Fowler has to make another save just 9 seconds after freezing the puck a moment ago. So there you go, Team Canada starting to stir around a bit here and get the attack going early on in this hockey game. So good to see the response here over the past 2 minutes, and I hopefully see Team Canada continue to do that here in the next few minutes. As the face-off now to the right of Fowler, Canada is going to scramble it to the boards alongside the U.S. Now the USA is going to be able to get to the middle, 2-on-2 attack back the other way, cut to the middle. Now the attack for the USA through the middle of the Canadian zone, cut off there. And through 10 minutes of hockey, we've played a grand total of a minute or to a 1-0 score, and we've played a grand total of 10 minutes. As this one shot to the middle, Canada scores on the rebound. Beautiful diving effort there for the Canadian squad to put it through. With 10:08 to go here in this first period of play, Canada will level the score at 1 apiece, as that is a great crash and goal there for Celebrini, who ends up scoring a beautiful little just gritty go to the area goal kind of deal. As Canada gets the shot through, and it's just one of those that bounces towards. They're saying he might have kicked it in, but again, you're allowed to deflect that puck with your skate sometimes. So Fowler's just shaking his head, but look at this one. Celebrini driving the net. He finds a soft area in the defense, and it looks like he might have kicked that one in. Kind of a kicking motion there, but I don't know if they're going to review that necessarily, as we're going to get the back angle, and he just kind of angled his skate more or less. No real thorough kicking motion, but we'll see what the ruling here is, as it will be 1-1, and the American head coach not too impressed with that, but again, whatever. Ends up happening. As this one goes down low into the American zone, we are officially at the 10-minute mark of this first period. 1-1 Canada and USA in pre-tournament action, as it's in behind for Canada as they continue their dominance in the American zone here over the past 3-4 minutes, as they continue to roll around down low, far side corner. 2 American attackers, or defenders I guess, take that puck away from Canada for a brief moment, and it works back to the neutral zone as Canada will pick up Lamoureux up front, and then a couple of passes back in the Canadian end almost allowed Canada to transition through cleanly. The USA cuts it off, and it's down low now to Canada in their own zone. The USA play it to the middle, and there's a player without a glove. That's Celebrini. He's going to go to the bench, and it's going to be fired back in by Canada. Out to play it as Fowler, who's kind of seen his team under siege in their own zone here over the past 4 minutes, as I mentioned, and he made a play to cut that one off and disrupt, as Canada will enter the zone for a brief moment and scramble at the blue line. Will just instead force that puck down low. 8:59 to go here in this first period of play. Canada and the US zipping along here on a Saturday morning. I guess that's the weird part about these holidays. They don't actually start until Tuesday this year. 8:46 remaining here in this first period of play, as Canada will roll to the end boards, try to play it back up high. They can't do it, and here comes the U.S. back the other way. It will be cut off by Canada, and Team Canada doing a good job in the neutral zone here, since they decided to start playing hockey this period of cutting off passes and get into the attack. Though this one shot on, kick saved by Rousseau, and Celebrini's glove is still on the ice out there. 8:20 to go here in this first period. 1-1 score between Canada and the U.S. right now, as the U.S. across the line, shot fired by the Americans, save made by Rousseau, and we will have a face-off here in the Canadian zone as we have a stoppage in play rather quick with 8:10 to go in this first period of play. Friends, welcome aboard Dolly TV. If you are just tuning in, what I want you to do, or if you haven't done it yet, is consider hitting that like button here on the stream. I know I haven't asked for that yet, but if you are just tuning in, that would be greatly appreciated. As for friends that haven't heard the pitch before, if you hit that like button, that kind of helps people back across YouTube and across the Google search find the live stream a little bit more. I know this necessarily ain't what you're looking for. You probably want to watch the game, but again, if it's something that I can provide for you that keeps you up to date. That's what I'm here to do this holiday season. So welcome aboard. Glad to have you aboard. And again, if you are new at any time and you want to stay tuned for the World Juniors and the Edmonton Oilers stuff throughout the year, please consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolany TV. That would be greatly appreciated, friends. With that, we get back to action. Obviously 1-1 so far on this game for Canada and the U.S. as not a bad first period so far. Canada showing some dominance with the offense here over the past 4-ish minutes against the U.S., so you always like to see that. And now all of a sudden, yes, we are closing in on 41 subscribers to go to big number 14,000. So thank you for that as we continue along here tonight. So we are going to see the Canadians penalized here midway through this first period for a too many men penalty with 8:10 to go in this first period of play. 2-minute power play now for the U.S. and Canada will be tested. Beck's out there killing penalties. I believe they're going to have Lamoureux, the top pairing right D, out there as well. So Team Canada getting set up to kill off this penalty here in the zone for the face-off to the right of Rousseau. 8:10 to go as obviously the Americans will draw in and look to change the tide here over the past few minutes for Team Canada. As the face-off won back by Canada, fired to an area, it will be kept in just briefly by the U.S. and instead they'll actually get the puck battle won. Shot fired towards the net. Rousseau sees it go wide. Canada battling off the end of the net there behind Rousseau, able to get it back down low, trying to chip it to an area. Puck goes up and out of play, and we will have a stoppage right now. So there you go, 7:48 to go with $1:37 remaining in the power play for Team USA. And friends, we're closing in on 500 views on the live stream so far, so thank you for that as well, for tuning in this morning. Really do appreciate that. I have to make sure I hammer that home. Obviously it's a holiday season, you got to make sure you're appreciative of everything that you guys are spending with me here. Of course, like I said, I've got plans and I can only do the first period, but the fact that you guys continually show up and showing up today for this one, appreciate it as well. 7:37 to go here in this first period of play as the U.S. get a one-timer all alone shot again, all alone, denied by Rousseau, who despite giving up a shaky first goal ends up making a couple key saves there, angling off the shooter all alone on the right side for the Americans as Lane Hutson's going to travel up the ice. He's got a little puck transporter too, but I think his hands are his key part as the Americans across the ice shoot the puck, and Rousseau another save. So he's going to end up finishing this period with at least 10 saves, it assumes. And another shot saved, gloved that time by Rousseau, who holds on, and we'll have another stoppage in play here with 7:02 to go in this first period in this game. Starting to slow down now, the goaltenders starting to see a couple more pucks, starting to hold on to things more, but another beautiful save there on Gauthier by, of course, Rousseau, who makes actually 2 saves on Gauthier and ends up stopping the puck twice over within the first minute of that power play, and then a third time making the glove hand save. 7:03 to go here in this first period of play. Maddie's cheering for the U.S. Well, there you go. That's all fair. And Maddie, good to see you. Long time no see, but good to see you again. So we're going to see the Canadians scramble up the face-off. The Americans will get to the point. This one's going to be cut off by Canada off a deflection off a skate, lifted down to Fowler, who will have to bat it to the far side corner. Canada's going to win that battle for a brief moment. Now with 40 seconds remaining here in this first period power play for the Americans, their first of the game on a too-many men call for Canada, as this one's busting up the middle. The Americans fire the puck up off of a Canadian defender and out of play. Friends, Daryl, we continue along here. 6:36 stoppage in play with a 1-1 score between Canada and the USA. If you tune into the regular World Junior streams, I promise you I will have a scoreboard as per custom with the Edmonton Oilers live streams. However, the tough part right now is during the pre-tournament, the scoreboards on TSN don't update accurately, so kind of hard to do them, and obviously this is the last pre-tournament game I'm likely to do, so don't worry about it too much. We should be good to go. 6:25 to go here in this first period of play. 13 seconds remain in the American power play. The puck takes a hard carom off the boards and out of the zone, so the American power play will wind down outside in the neutral territory as it's cut off at the blue line by Canada. Battle won and bounced back into the American end as 6:06 remains here in this first period of play, and Canada's working it down low in their own end. Lamoureux D to D, and the Canadians will try and transition out through the middle. That one cuts off a skate, and the Americans back the other way across the blue line just like that. Canada chips out, and the Americans again keep it in, but they are indeed offside by just a matter of moments. So this one's going to go down low for Canada to set things up here in this, well, I guess you could say, late stage first period, as they will work through the neutral zone onside, looking for a D to D pass. They can't do it, and they're going to see if they can find it down low now, as the Canada will get to the attack here with Celebrini back on the ice. He had lost a glove a moment ago and had to take a few shifts off, as both teams continue to roll around until that too many men call, as Canada D to D at their own blue line now will fire this one into the American end, and we are just about inside the last 5 minutes to play here in this first period play in a 1-1 hockey game right now between Canada and the USA, as this one's going to be worked near side corner by the Americans as they're back to the attack in the Canadian end, and BM is going to get it back to the far side point, cut off there by one of the American attackers, as they just about lost the handle on that puck, and that could have been a chance back the other way for Canada. Shot fired towards the middle. Canada backhands it out of the air, out of the zone on Team USA, and we have 4.5 remaining, as that's all of a sudden the Americans getting the jump in their step as Team USA is getting to the attack here again. Canadians lost his stick back to the blue line. The shot's going to be dragged to the middle. Nice pass to the back door, just missed barely there for Team USA. 4:18 to go, as both teams now have had some pretty good looking chances here in this first period of play. Both teams have scored a goal, one apiece, and back the other way now comes Team Canada, as they're going to get to the attack here in behind their own net, or offensive net, I guess. Fowler's trying to do the job, just hold sway, and Team Canada is doing a good job to keep that puck onside. Good work there, using the big ice to win the battle. Owen Beck, far side, he's going to roll around down low, or is that Owen Beck or somebody else? I'm not sure. This one keeps going back to the blue line now. Team Canada D to D again, using that big ice to keep the puck alive for a brief moment, and 3:40 to go. It'll be really interesting to see how many chances Team Canada gets in the big ice against the weaker teams, because they are just a bigger, faster, stronger team than necessarily some of those other teams here in the tournament this year. 3:26 to go in this first period, as across the line Team USA is going to drag to the middle, try and get a puck for a guy crashing down the slot. Couldn't do it. Now Team Canada is going to transition back the other way, and friends, we are just about to the, well, I guess 3-minute mark remaining in this first period of play. A shot off the post there for Team USA, and that's been the big thing. There's been a couple dangerous pucks wired just wide against both goaltenders so far in this one. Shot down the ice that time by USA, and it will be an icing call with 2:57 remaining in this first period. So friends, we are just about up and done just like that. Obviously they haven't taken too many TV timeouts in this first period as of yet, so be interesting to see if they end up doing that here as the last few minutes remain. But it looks like we're just going to see some highlights again, as Gauthier fired that one just off the post and wide for Team USA. So here we go, friends. Face off down in the American zone. Gauthier, a 5th overall pick by the Philadelphia Flyers in the 2022 draft. Of course, you remember that. That was a pretty big draft there not too long ago. 2:44 remains here in this first period, as Canada-USA engaged in a 1-1 hockey game so far, as Canada's going to get across the blue line here, drive it down deep in this 1-1 game, and there's Canada to the far side attack. The Americans strip them of the puck in behind the net with 2.5 remaining here in this first period, as Canada-US, like I said, tied at 1. The Americans work back to the Canadian blue line, dump it in just softly on Matichuk. He will regroup and play it to the middle of the ice there, picked up now and worked back by Canada, as they'll just speed in, dump it down deep, and the Canadian attack, other than one forechecker, will peel off for what appeared to be a line change rather quick. And now the Americans back the other way. This Perreault over the line, the shot fired, save made by Rousseau, who, like I said, he's going to finish with 10 or 11 saves this period, and it's a couple of good ones. Tough goal to give up early, but here's Canada now. Chance to the middle. They're going to drag the shot. Save made by Fowler, however, with a $1:45 remaining here in this first period of play in this pre-tournament competition. So far so good for Team Canada, as they are doing the job that is working so far for both teams, and we'll see obviously if one team can pull away here in the last $1:45 of this period. Friends, welcome aboard Dolan TV. If you are just tuning in for the first time, obviously things aren't exactly the best here on stream this morning. Kind of tired, kind of got stuff to do, but if you are new to the channel, I would encourage you to hit that subscribe button here on Dolan TV and stick around for more broadcasts here during the World Juniors. All right, friends, that's enough self-advertising. Again, if you also haven't hit that like button, I guess I should self-advertise that, as that would be greatly appreciated if you could hit that like button on the stream too. So, Christine, good morning to you, and go Canada. Definitely like that. As we are rolling along in the last 2 minutes play here in this first period between Canada and, of course, Team USA. And you see that puck just goes barely wide there for the Americans, who have, I think, had the more dangerous chances this game so far, as Mazar was at the side of the net looking to cash that one home. So we have $1:45 to go. Danielson drafted 9th overall by Detroit in the 2023 draft. Of course, he was going to be a pretty high draft pick. So there you go. This one now played by Celebrini. Back down low, the shot fired towards the net. Save made by Fowler. And breakfast there, guess what? Celebrini got no games. That's the big thing. No supplementary discipline from the IIHF board. So for Team Canada, they get a very lucky break there. That much is for sure. So friends, we have just barely a few minutes left in this first period. Actually, just over a minute left, basically. And then we'll be to action here, as there's a bunch of young fans in the stands here for Sweden. Everybody yelling about this one in the stands, and now this one comes back off the face-off for Canada to the attack. That big ice again wins a open ice opportunity, but Team USA forced it out. Canada looking for that 21st championship at the World Juniors this season. 1:20 to go in this first period, as both teams getting to the nitty-gritty of it, I guess you could say, here in this first period. And then that will be about it for me this morning, as I have to get on with the holiday plans. Puck bounces off of an American back into the American zone. USA will load up the attack with exactly a minute remaining here in this first period of play. Canada's going to cut it off, but I think here Team USA this time guilty of a sloppy line change, David, and we will have a power play for Canada, or else it was an offside. Not 100% sure, but that one did not look clean for Team USA, and now they're going to say Team Canada's guilty of the too many men. That doesn't quite make sense, as this one's going to be a near play. And is it Team Canada again? It looks like it might be here. Yeah, it's going to be Team Canada again, actually guilty of the too many men, as they've got 6 guys on the ice by the looks of it. So in fact, the scoreboard is correct, but no, that's I don't know. Yeah, that is Team Canada that will be guilty. There was a lot of bodies on the ice there, and I guess it was just Team Canada touching the puck last second or whatever. That replay wasn't too conclusive. It was far angle. Last minute power play now for Team USA. They're 0 for 1 with 4 shots. Like I said, Rousseau's made some good ones so far in this game. With 48 seconds remaining, Team USA loads up the attack again. Drag in the middle. Shot off the side of the net that time from the Americans. Oh my goodness, good looking open net opportunity on Rousseau, who was outstretched trying to make the save, and that one ends up going off the side of the twine. 30 seconds remain here in this first period of play, friends. Canada just about had a little partial break, but instead it's the Americans ahead, cut off again by Canada. This one will be chipped to the middle of the ice, and now back the other way. The Canadian squad to the attack. That one's going to be cut down with 14 seconds to go here in this first period of play. $1:10 remains in this power play with 8 seconds to go in this first period of play, and that will pretty much do it here as the Americans chip along the boards. Canada ties them up, and it's 1-1 after 1 in Sweden between Canada and the USA. Friends, thank you for being aboard this morning. Really do appreciate you hanging out with me today. I will catch you a little bit later on today, I'm sure, to talk some Edmonton Oilers stuff, but for now we will tune on out. I will get to the Christmas holiday activities that I have planned for the rest of the day, and I do appreciate you being aboard. Again, if you are new, please consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolan TV. Boxing Day is coming. We're just 3 days away. I'm Tyson.